So we're in this lockdown position. We've come here before we were able to get in and do all these whips. We're having trouble getting our frames back in place or our underhook because he's being really difficult with this top arm, right? And no matter how hard I try, I'm having trouble breaking his posture here. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come inside his face like I would for control, and I'm going to use this lockdown to push out as I straighten his arm. From here, I can control his body, and I can start to grab the back of his tricep using my face to hold his arm, and I can come to this Kimura here. And from here, I should be able to finish pretty easily. If somehow he's able to keep it under my head here, I also have the opportunity to just roll up on him. So the more he fights me rolling with his other arm, the more he's going to expose his arm here for a wrist lock or a Kimura. All right, so as we go to our next drill, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what we do with the lockdown, right? The lockdown is not some magic solution to people smashing in a half guard. If I don't do something with it, this foot position does me no good, right? So what we're going to do with it is we're going to begin to whip. And I can bring it up, and I can bring it down, and I can bring it out, and I can bring it out the other way. And so these different ways that I can whip will begin to open up opportunities for me to set up some movement for my opponent. As I whip down, he's having trouble cross-facing me now, right? So I've extended so he can't put that pressure into my chin. And as I whip down, now I'm able to start to come in and get into some kind of stronger frame position. Now I can whip back up, and as I whip up, I should be able to come under for my underhook, right? Now I can whip back down, and I've got him off to the side now. As I whip out to the side, to the side that my legs are on his body, now his leg comes off the ground, and I can come under this leg, and this is called the electric chair position, right? So we're going to go back to that. We're just going to get to this position, and then we'll start to work on what we do from here. So he's smashing me. I get to my lockdown position. I extend him out. I can get my frame in as I whip up. Now as I whip him out and down, I can start to bring his leg up. And as I bring his leg up, I don't just try to curl his leg with my arm. I actually turn my hand towards the ceiling. It'll change the shape of my shoulder blade and my arm so that that bone structure makes his leg ride up and he can't kick it back down. Even though Steve's a big, strong man with giant thighs, he can't kick my arm down from here because it's now riding on my shoulder blade. So this is where I want to get to, and then we'll start to talk about what we can do from here. So we're in this lockdown position. We've come here before we were able to get in and do all these whips. We're having trouble getting our frames back in place or our underhook because he's being really difficult with this top arm, right? And no matter how hard I try, I'm having trouble breaking his posture here. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come inside his face like I would for control, and I'm going to use this lockdown to push out as I straighten his arm. From here, I can control his body, and I can start to grab the back of his tricep using my face to hold his arm, and I can come to this Kimura here. And from here, I should be able to finish pretty easily. If somehow he's able to keep it under my head here, I also have the opportunity to just roll up on him. So the more he fights me rolling with his other arm, the more he's going to expose his arm here for a wrist lock or a Kimura. All right, so we've done this series a couple times now. We've gotten to our lockdown. We've done our whipping up and down to get into this position that we got into. And now as I get his leg on my shoulder, I no longer really need this far underhook. I've extended him out so far that I don't really need that anymore, and I can hold his hips in place. From here, there's a submission here called the electric chair as I extend my legs out in this position and drag his other leg up over my shoulder, and it'll extend his crotch beyond his mobility. Most people that play jiu-jitsu have a lot of flexibility in their hips, and so this is not a submission that I find I get very often, but it is here, and you should know about it, right? So from here, I can kind of rear naked grip his other leg, and I can start to extend for a tap. Often for me, it ends up being more of a calf crush on the opposite side than like the crotch separation. So from here, what I like to do though is now I've got into this position, I should be able to roll up onto my side, keeping his leg over my shoulder, and I'm gonna roll towards him. He's gonna have a really hard time basing out past me here, and I should be able to follow him all the way up. As I come up here, I like to make sure that I keep his leg on top of my shoulder. If he's got a gi, I'll usually grab it here and I'll pinch it down towards his head, and I've still got my legs in position. Until I come to this position, now I can, with my knee in his hip, I can start to unweave my top leg, and I can come into a side control with his leg collected. All right, so we're going through all the same things here that we've been working on today. We're going to get our lockdown position. We're going to use it to whip around till we get into this electric chair position here, right? Except now he's based out and he's not letting me sweep him over this direction. So what I have to do instead is go a different direction than he's fighting. So I let his foot slide over my head. Now I should be able to come up and collect his hips, and he no longer has a post in this direction. So I can then overpower it and come up on top right here. From here, I've still got my lockdown in place, so I can do mean things to him here. And as I do mean things to him here, now I can let this go and come over to side control.